So much going on here, so much to talk about. It's absolutely insane. It's crazy what happened last night in the debate, the Democratic debate. I'm looking through some quotes. I'm going to have to sort of edit them up a little bit and kind of, for the broadcast audience here. Not like, obviously they went over broadcast there, but that's just the way that I do it. So we'll go through that. If you want to call the program, you can call me right now at 786-633-5927, 786-633-5927. Also the accidentlawfirm.com. Text line is 786-3774-MEN, 786-3774-MEN. Now, there's a lot to talk about here. I'm going to hit you with some quotes here, and they're going to be a little bit edited or abbreviated in certain ways just for, putting this out over the air on morning drive right now. And this is from Julia Musto on foxnews.com. Quote headline, it's a clever headline. Headline, quote, Joe Concha, Nevada debate looked like, quote unquote, Game of Thrones red wedding. Quote unquote, everything changes now. I agree with that. In terms of, and in this respect, anyone who was thinking that Bloomberg was coming in to save the Democratic Party from a Bernie Sanders nomination has to be waking up from that dream, because that's not going to happen anytime soon, or that's not going to happen easily. This is going to be a very extensive, drawn-out fight. Now, I also have to put something else in there, too, before we're going to get into this and get into some quotes. But here is another huge headline, another pull quote, if you will, from the actual debate. And this was important. I think this was Lester Holt who asked this question. I'm pretty sure NBC's Lester Holt. And here's the headline. Joe Wilson, foxnews.com, headline, quote, Dems shook Twitter after all but Sanders disagree that the candidate with the quote unquote most delegates should be nominee. Let's read that again. Think about that. I want that to sink in, because that is a super important point. Quote, Dems shook Twitter after all but Sanders disagree that the candidate with the quote unquote most delegates should be nominee. So what happened was there was an actual, there was a question. Hey, and if you didn't understand, which Sanders did a good job of bringing it out, if you didn't understand the inside baseball, you may have missed it. You may have missed what the importance of the question was, which was, hey, if someone doesn't have enough delegates to win, should the person with the most delegates, let's say they didn't have enough to win, like whatever it is, 50%, 51%, 50.1, should the person with the most delegates at that time, let's say they had 35, Sanders has 35% of the delegates and everybody else has less, should that person win? Nobody said that they should win except for Sanders. Now, of course, that's convenient because Sanders is leading and believes he's going to win. At the same time, it's extremely revealing because, as Sanders said, there's the super delegates, which are basically elected officials. It's basically insiders, okay? They get to vote in this too, which is really crazy, and then Republicans don't have anything like that to the best of my knowledge. Pretty anti-democratic in my opinion in terms of taking a large amount of the vote away from the voters, right? And so the insiders can basically usually swing to wherever they want to swing and give someone the nomination. So it's really an undemocratic thing. And it's something that people fought against in 2016 because of what happened to Sanders there and the whole Hillary Clinton, Secretary Clinton thing. So now the superdelegates don't come in on the first ballot, they come in on the second ballot. And there's discussion about changing that. They keep changing the rules all along the way. Rules of debate, rules of all kinds of stuff. We're having polls not released. We're having problems with caucuses. I mean, this is looking so crazy. It harkens back to 2016. And so Sanders is like, no, if I have the most delegates, let's say he's got 49% of the delegates. And, who knows? Bloomberg's second and 30% of delegates. All of a sudden on the second ballot, all the super delegates come in and vote for Bloomberg and he wins. Dude, you're talking about just ruining the Democratic Party. So people are railing against that. And in fact, we have a lot of commentary about that. here. And it got, oh, actually, maybe this was Chuck Todd who asked the question, actually, excuse me, let me revise and extend my remarks. It was not Lester Holt, it was Chuck Todd. And I thought it was either one of those two, so there you go, it was Chuck Todd who asked the question. And then Todd clarified, quote, you want the convention to work its will, quote unquote, Todd clarified. Hey Chuck, we understand what that means. We understand what that means. You're talking about the insiders taking over. No, thank you, bro. And Twitter went nuts, dude. And so yeah, Bloomberg said yes, Senator Warren said yes, everybody else except for Sanders. And Sanders' quote was this. And let me hit the exact question here. Quote, I want to ask you all a simple question. There's a very good chance that none of you are gonna have enough delegates to the Democratic National Convention that clinches the nomination. If that happens, and I want all of your opinions on this, should the person with the most delegates at the end of the primary season be the nominee, even if they are short of a majority, unquote, Todd asked, unquote. And everyone's was basically saying that the Mayor Bloomberg said, quote, whatever the rules, unquote, the party had previously determined, quote unquote, should be followed, unquote. And then we go on and everybody said, oh yeah, I agree with that except for Sanders. Sanders' comment was, quote, this is Senator Sanders, who's leading, who's probably gonna have the most delegates. Quote, well, the process includes 500 super delegates on the second ballot, so I think the will of the people should prevail. Yes, unquote, Sanders told Todd, quote, the person with the most votes should become the nominee, unquote. Do you understand how crazy this is? Do you understand how this is punking out the Democratic Party right now? Do you understand the destruction? And Twitter exploded, dude, exploded. And here we go. The Hill Sagar and Jetty tweeted, quote, well, there you have it, folks. Not a single candidate but Bernie says the candidate with the most amount of delegates going to the convention should be the nominee, unquote. Another one, Matt Taibbi, big time writer, Rolling Stone, everything, big voice out there. Quote, 5 candidates say they won't necessarily support the candidate with the most delegates. What a bitter contest this has become, unquote. This is getting really crazy. I mean, and this is a great quote right here, Daily Caller investigative editor Peter Hansen, quote, a Venn diagram of the Democrats who say they want to do away with the Electoral College, okay? And Dem candidates who say the candidate with the most votes should be the nominee. This is the thing right here. This is what I'm talking about. On the one, this is how hypocritical and how crazy this whole situation has become. On the one hand, we have Russia hoax and all of that. On the other hand, you have all the stuff that the Democrats are doing over here. You know, with spying on presidential campaigns, doing all kinds of weird, strange, potentially fraudulent thing with FISA, everything else like that. And that's the hypocrisy is insane. Same thing with this. On the one hand, they were saying, oh, Hillary Clinton really won the presidential race. We need to do away from Electoral College. She won more popular votes. This is anti-democratic. And yet, in their own nomination process, every single candidate said that the nominee with the most votes should not be the candidate that basically let the superdelegates come in, except for Bernie Sanders. It's insane. And that dude is a Democratic socialist. He's not even officially part of the Democratic Party. Maybe he switched his registration. This is where we're at right now. And you think any of these people can beat Donald Trump? Absolutely not. We have an economy that's absolutely on fire. We have unemployment at the lowest rate probably ever. We have got better trade deals. We have people. We're out of all kinds of wars across the world. This is unbelievable and unstoppable. President Trump, I'm telling you right now, he's going to win another term. There's no doubt in my mind whatsoever. There's nobody on stage that can stand up there. And even Bloomberg, I'll leave you with this before we at the other end of the break. Bloomberg had a great quote and a great hit on, on Bernie Sanders. I mean, it's so funny, I can't even contain myself. Bloomberg, who is a super billionaire, the dude's like 66 billion. I mean, there's billionaires and there's billionaires. This dude's like way out of control as a billionaire. Bloomberg hit Sanders, who's trying to be the super populist. FoxNews.com, quote, Bloomberg slammed Sanders at debate. The, quote, the best known socialist, quote, happens to be a millionaire with 3 houses, unquote. How are you going to roll the populist mantle like that? This dude's rolling deep with 3 houses. I don't have 3 houses. Do you have 3 houses? It's a lot of houses. I mean, there's one, okay, you have one, maybe you got that vacation house, but you've got 3 houses. That's a lot of houses, bro. It's hard to be a person of the people. I don't fault them. I'm a capitalist. I'm all for it. God bless you, Senator Sanders, but it's hard to roll with that, you're not super in touch with the street when you've got the 3 houses like that. So it was a mess. It was a car crash all across the board, no doubt about it. President Trump is the biggest winner, but Senator Sanders is the second biggest winner because Bloomberg is now off the table, not viable as a second alternative, in my opinion. Hey, this is John Villarreal. You're listening to the John Villarreal Show here on 1210 AM The Man, the only station where you are the man. Thanks for listening. Be right back next segment.